Hello again and welcome to DanWhiteBooks, the book review channel where we add insights into the worlds of literature for both those who do read and those who don't. Today's book review leans more on the side of contemporary fiction and is a sequel to the hugely popular The Thursday Murder Club. Today I'm reviewing Richard Osman's The Man Who Died Twice. Murder mystery thrillers aren't my type of book. I know that is quite the statement to say in a book review, particularly if the book I'm reviewing is a murder mystery thriller, but it is true. They haven't much interested me in the past. I suppose we all feel something like that before we start something new, but then something changes. I started this book optimistically. The previous title, The Thursday Murder Club, had certainly been an entertaining, albeit easy read. It told the tale of a group of pensioners living in a retirement community, all of whom had come together on Thursdays to discuss unsolved murders. The book was light-hearted, funny, and had enough mystique to keep you reading. I enjoyed that work and I rated it highly. I think on reflection, maybe I rated it a little too high, but I'll tell you this, it is incredibly hard to replicate a successful work or have one book or indeed any form of art come out and achieve the same level of success as the first. It is even harder still for a work to come out and better that of its original. And you know what? I fully believe Richard Osman has created something here that is indeed better than his release preceding. I was again very pleasantly surprised with this author's work, particularly as he comes from a background on UK television. This book really has no right to be as good as it is, but I'm glad it stands up so very strongly. The Man Who Died Twice takes place not long after the Thursday Murder Club and features the same group of elderly characters as before. You have main character Elizabeth, Joyce, Ibrahim and Ron, alongside police detectives Chris and Donna. You don't need to have read the previous book in this series, but I would certainly recommend it, particularly to get an insight into how the characters all know each other and to get a taste of Osman's style of writing. This book doesn't take all too long to get going. Elizabeth, who is certainly the brains of the group, receives a letter from her ex-husband Marcus, a man whose name she knows spells trouble. There is talk of missing diamonds and a very real threat on Marcus's life. Elizabeth, being the puzzle solver she is, springs right into action and begins investigating a case where danger is an imminent possibility. I had some gripes with the book before this one, mainly that it did lean a little too much on the humour. I also believe it may have been a harder book for people outside of the UK to read, as it had a lot of terms that people in the UK would know, but others would probably have no clue what we'd be going on about. It did hammer home certain popular cultural references, I suppose to say. This sequel has certainly fine-tuned this sense of humour, and it's cut back a little bit on the overuse of these popular UK terms and places. The narration has been refined and it feels far more authentic. Osman really is finding his style of writing, and this work, by my mind, is written far better than the first. And that brings us to the plot, which is more sophisticated and entangling and engaging than that of its predecessors. You have more characters, and each one of these is given far more life than the ones before. Osman has kept the good with previous characters such as Bogdan and given them an extra layer of depth, all while peddling a far more encompassing narrative. There are many tangling paths and links across all of the characters. In the end, it all comes together, and this is a very satisfying conclusion. At the time I'd read the first book, The Thursday Murder Club, I'd heard a sequel was in the works. I'll be honest with you, I really liked the first book, but the humour was a little out of taste for me. It worked, but it was not to my style. However, I'm very glad I picked up the sequel because it has fixed a lot of things that I disliked in the book before. The humour is there, and some may not want that in a piece of fiction, but this time it feels better, more precise. I even laughed a lot during one section. The comedy doesn't feel like it's pandering as it felt in the first one, and even with this, the book manages to get serious when it is needed. Please don't go into this work thinking it is some deep and profound piece of fiction, because it is not, and certainly doesn't wish to be. This is the kind of book to read on a rainy day, a piece to open up beside the fire on a cold winter's night. I can assure you it has the capability to turn a frown into a smile. It feels as comfortable as a hot drink on a lonely night, and soothes the soul much the same. It is digestible, it is funny, and it has enough twists to keep you guessing all week long. So with all things considered, I would rate The Man Who Died Twice a 90 out of 100. My friends, thank you again for watching the first book review of the year, the first of many. If you'd like to read along with me for the next book review, I'm reading a book by, well, you may have heard of him, a book by a Japanese author called Murakami, Norwegian Wood, and that will be my next book review. If you'd like to learn more information about this book, or indeed Norwegian Wood, please see my video description, and I will see you here again soon for more book reviews and discussion. Thank you very much for watching. Let's have ourselves a great year, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.